Hi, my name is Tamika Vaughn, and I'll be giving an informative speech about the history of historical black colleges and universities. HBCUs were invented in 1837, 26 years before the end of slavery. Richard Humphrey was a Quaker and philanthropist. He founded the Institute for Colored Youth to train free blacks. Um, to become teachers. The school had moved from Philadelphia to Cheney and eventually became Cheney University. Um, by the by 1902, at least 85 schools were set up to um, educate sons and daughters of former slaves. Um, the types of HBCs are Southern state schools. Um, those state schools were created because blacks weren't admitted into Alabama University. So Alabama State schools or Alabama State University was created for that purpose. And state schools in the South are considered HBCUs. Schools like Texas, A&M, NC, A&T. The A&M actually means agricultural and mechanical. In A&T means agricultural and technical. So those schools were established along with one of the famous schools, the Tuskegee Institute, to basically train African Americans in trades, sharecropping, things of that nature. So those schools were founded. The Tuskegee Institute was founded July 4th, 1881. It was called the Tuskegee Normal School for Colored Teachers, and it eventually evolved to what it is today. One of the presidents of the school was Booker T. Washington, and he promoted that school with all of his heart. He bought grounds on a former plantation. Um, and over the decades, they built the institute from the ground up on that plantation. And at the time, in the beginning, the students actually paid for their tuition that way. They built the school, they designed the school. So a, a lot of what they ate, the things that they used, like the chairs and the buildings and things of that nature, it was all done by the students and the faculty. Um, One of the famous and notable scholars at Tuskegee was George Washington Carver, who invented peanut butter. And he became a renowned professor at the school also. Until 1954, the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Brown versus the Board of Education, which ended separate but equal school systems, HBCUs were the number one school for African Americans who wanted to attend college. After 1965, a historical black college or university, according to Higher Education Act of 1965, any institute that was founded before 1964 with the purpose of educating mostly African American students, um, are now HBCUs. They're historic. They're historical. They're a part of our history. Um, the U.S. as a whole. Originally, the HBCUs allowed African Americans to get an education when they weren't allowed to get it from a private higher education institute. Um, there are now 105 HBCUs in the United States. According to the HBCU report, in 2010, the overall enrollment, broken down by statistics and ethnicity, 81% of 81% of those who attended HBCU were African American, 0% American Indian or Alaskan, 1.2% were Asian, 0% were Pacific Islander, 10% were white, 2.5% were Hispanic, 3% were non-resident aliens, 2% were race and ethnicity unknown. As for the degrees awarded in 2010, 120 degrees were awarded at an accredited HBCU programs. 72 were African American, 0% were American Indian, 0.4% were Asian, 1.4 were Pacific Islander, 18% were white Americans, 0.9 were Hispanics, 0% were two or more races, 0.4 were non-resident aliens, 0.1 were race unknown. The faculty at the schools were 48% were African American, 0% was American Indian, 4% were Asian, 0% were Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, 38% were white Americans, 7% were Hispanic, 1% were two or more races, 0% was non-resident aliens, and 2% were ethnicity unknown. So today you can attend any university. It doesn't matter if it's a historical black university. Anyone, as you can see by the statistics, will go to a HBCU. The top 5 HBCUs in 2011 are Spelman, which is an all-girls school, Howard University, Morehouse University, or Morehouse College, that they're all boys' schools. So Spelman and Morehouse are like sister schools. They're in Atlanta. Hampton University and the Tuskegee University. So those are your top picks. They're all good picks. Me, on the other hand, I am choosing Howard for fall 2012. They offer a 5-year dual program in psychology, and I will, if I get accepted, I will be getting my MA, my JD, and PhD within the 5 years. So, I mean, it's a pretty good program. I think so. Columbia also has a program too, and I'm pretty sure there's one other HBCU that offers that 5-year dual program. And they also have dual programs in other majors. So if you're interested in getting your MA, JD, and your PhD within 5 years, just check out a HBCU. I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed on the higher learning. But I hope you enjoyed my informative speech on historical black colleges and universities. Thank you.